ever thought much about chromium? I mean, it's not exactly the first element that springs to mind, right?
No, not really.
Like when you think cool elements, it's usually like gold or uranium.
Right.
But chromium,
Yeah.
this deep dive is going to reveal how cool and honestly how surprisingly complex this element actually is.
Definitely.
We're talking about an element that's in everything from, will you be amazed how many everyday things rely on chromium?
You really would.
Yeah.
It's often in ways we don't even realize.
And we are going to unpack all of that.
Yeah.
A treasure trove of info on chromium,
What's it
pulling
being
from
about?
sources like the Royal Society of Chemistry,
Uh-huh.
Wikipedia, and even a government website
Oh, wow.
about toxic metals.
Interesting.
Because, and this is where it gets interesting,
Okay.
chromium has a bit of a split personality.
It does indeed. And that duality, that good and bad side of chromium,
Yeah.
those are directly tied to the way that it exists in different forms,
Okay.
which we'll get into.
Okay, so first things first,
Yeah.
what is this mysterious element? We're talking a steely gray metal.
It is.
Hard yet surprisingly brittle.
Yeah.
The Royal Society of Chemistry classifies it as a transition metal,
That's right.
which I always thought, it's
Yeah.
like, what does that even mean?
Well,
So it's like chromium is the chameleon of the metal world.
exactly. Its properties are always shifting, depending on what other elements it interacts with.
Okay, so it's kind of...
It all boils down to its electron configuration, which basically makes it prone to forming these, vibrant, colorful compounds.
Okay, I have to ask about this colorful side of chromium.
Yeah.
It's not just a coincidence that its name comes from the Greek word for color, is it?
Absolutely not. Think about pigments, like chrome yellow, those iconic yellow school buses. That's chromium in action. And don't forget chrome red and chrome green. We're talking about an element with a serious artistic side.
This is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
And to think this colorful character is way more common than I realized.
Oh, yeah. You're in for a surprise. Chromium ranks as the 21st most abundant element in the Earth's crust.
What?
We're talking more common than silver or gold.
You're telling me I walk around every day surrounded by this versatile, colorful element. So why haven't I heard of it before?
That's a good question. Probably because a lot of chromium's coolness lies in how it interacts with other elements, rather than just on its own.
Okay.
For example, while it's found in a variety of minerals, one of the few places you'll find it in its pure native form is the Udakhnaya pipe in Russia.
Wait, the same place they mine diamonds.
That's right.
Talk about running with a glamorous crowd. But seriously, all this talk about abundance and colors is great, but what makes chromium matter so much?
Well, that's where those seemingly different uses from pigments to that government website on toxic metals come into play.
Okay.
Chromium plays a much bigger role in our lives than most people realize, and it all comes down to which face of chromium we encounter.
Okay, now you have to tell me more about these two faces of chromium.
Yeah.
What makes this element so two-sided?
It's all about those oxidation states we mentioned earlier.
Okay.
We've got chromium-3, the good guy, and chromium-6, which unfortunately has a bit of a bad reputation.
This is getting good. Lay it on me, chromium versus chromium-6. Who are these characters and what makes them so different? So we've got these two sides of chromium, the good guy chromium-6, and the not-so-good chromium. It's like a superhero movie, but on a microscopic level. What can you tell me about how these characters operate in the human body?
Well, let's start with the hero of our story, chromium-6.
Okay.
It's actually pretty amazing. Even though our bodies need this form of chromium for essential functions like regulating blood sugar,
Right.
we only absorb a tiny amount of it from food.
Really?
Yeah, like 1 or 2%. That's it.
That's wild. So it's like our bodies have this built-in mechanism to regulate chromium levels, only taking what they need.
Precisely. And here's where it gets really cool. Dr. Joshua Hamilton at Dartmouth and his team have done some fascinating research on this, and they discovered that chromium doesn't just help insulin do its job, but also interacts with other molecules in the body to keep our blood sugar balanced.
Wait, so it's not just a one-trick pony. Chromium-3 is a multitasking marvel. Tell me more about this balancing act. How does that even work?
So imagine this. Insulin is working hard to help our cells absorb glucose from the bloodstream, right?
Right.
Well, chromium steps in and interacts with a different, still somewhat mysterious protein receptor on the surface of cells.
Okay.
And this interaction, what it does is it sends signals that counterbalance the effects of insulin, preventing our blood sugar from dipping too low.
So it's like a delicate dance, a constant push and pull between insulin and chromium to keep everything in check.
Exactly.
Wow.
And this intricate dance, I mean, it really highlights just how crucial chromium 3s are maintaining our metabolic health.
Okay.
But unfortunately, not all forms of chromium are quite so helpful.
Right, which brings us to our villain, chromium.
Yeah. How does this bad boy operate?
Well, remember how our bodies are really carefully selective about absorbing chromium-3? Well, chromium-6 is a whole different story.
Okay.
It's much more readily taken up by cells.
Oh, God.
And that's where the danger lies.
It's like chromium has figured out how to sneak past our body's defenses.
That's a great way to put it. Another brilliant scientist at Dartmouth, Dr. Karen Wetterhahn,
Okay.
she proposed a model to explain this called the uptake reduction model.
Okay.
Imagine this. Chromium-6 is like a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Uh-oh.
It disguises itself as other essential nutrients our cells need,
Okay.
like sulfate and phosphate,
Uh-huh.
and it basically tricks them into letting it in.
That is seriously sneaky. So then what happens? What kind of chaos does chromium-6 cause once it's inside?
So because of its strong oxidizing properties,
Okay.
it can really wreak havoc on our cells.
Oh, no. In what way? Think of it like this. Chromium's is like a bull in a china shop. You know, it's disrupting delicate cellular processes, damaging DNA, and potentially increasing the risk of cancer.
Okay, now I'm starting to get a little nervous. How worried should I be about encountering this cellular villain in my everyday life? So I've got the cellular villain, chromium, just lurking about. How common is it in the stuff we use every day? Like, should I be checking every label under my sink right now?
Well, chromium in general, like, it's more common than you might think.
Really?
Yeah, it's in leather goods, wood preservatives, even some pigments.
Okay.
And remember that government website we talked about on toxic metals?
Yeah.
They highlighted a study that found chromium in the drinking water of 31 U.S. cities.
Okay. Yeah, that officially has my attention. We all need drinking water. How do we navigate this?
It's definitely something to be mindful of. But the good news is our bodies have actually developed some pretty clever defenses against chromium turns.
Okay. You had me worried there for a second. Tell me everything. What kind of defenses are we talking about?
It turns out our bodily fluids, like saliva, stomach acid, even our blood,
Okay.
they're packed with natural chemical compounds that can actually reduce chromium-6 into the less harmful chromium-6. It's like they act as a sort of chromium shield, neutralizing the threat.
So our bodies are constantly battling this bad chromium, even without us realizing it.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. But is this chromium shield enough to protect us completely from the harmful effects of chromium?
That's the million-dollar question, and honestly, the science is still evolving on that. Scientists are working really hard to understand the long-term effects of chromium exposure, even at those low levels.
Yeah.
The National Toxicology Program, they're actually conducting ongoing studies right now to try to get a clearer picture of the risks.
So while our bodies are putting up a good fight, there's still a lot we don't know about how chromium impacts our health in the long run.
Exactly. But as with so many things in life, I think a balanced perspective is key. You know, moderation and awareness go a long way when it comes to navigating these complexities of chromium.
That's a great takeaway. Don't go overboard on supplements. Be mindful of what's in the products you use. And hey, maybe investing in a good water filter isn't such a bad idea.
Those are all great steps to take. And remember, staying informed is key, especially with science constantly evolving.
This deep dive into chromium has been eye-opening. I have to admit, I started this episode thinking chromium was a pretty boring element, but now I'm seeing it in a whole new light.
I'm glad to hear that. It just goes to show that even the most, seemingly simple elements can have these hidden depths.
It makes you appreciate the power of scientific inquiry, right? There's always something new to uncover, even in the most unexpected places.
Absolutely. And the more we understand about the world around us, the better equipped we are to make those informed decisions for ourselves and for the planet.
So true. Well said. And to all our deep divers out there, we hope this episode has sparked your own curiosity. Don't be afraid to ask questions and keep exploring the world with a curious mind. Who knows what fascinating discoveries await. Until next time.